What's good, everybody? What's good, everybody? Want to do another video here. Just finished a walk. About to go get a protein shake. I want to discuss something. My daughter and I had a conversation. Good conversation. I always say that, you know, my kids and I, we always have good conversations. And the subject came up about 50-50. That's the name of this, the title of this. And we talked about, just the whole dating situation. And my daughter's, finishing up school, and she's doing the right thing with her life and all that kind of stuff. But she's also thinking about, you know, um, having kids and all this kind of stuff. So, the subject comes up about what men want and 50-50 and all that. So let's cover the whole. Let me give my thoughts about the 50-50 conversation first. Right, so the 50-50 conversation is this conversation that a man, in particular, because men have traditionally been the breadwinners, a man is asking, requesting, demanding that his woman do 50-50. I'm presuming that either in a marriage or in a cohabitating situation. Anybody who's paying somebody else's bills you don't live with, in my estimation, is a fool and is not worthy of any type of conversation. If you're paying somebody else's bills, monthly support for somebody, for their cell phone bills, for their rent, gas, car payments, you name it, I think you're an idiot. I think you're an idiot. Particularly if you're not well off, wealthy, or a millionaire or something like that, right? If you got it, man, you want to just pay. First of all, you don't know what they're doing. That's a whole nother conversation, right? About how much money that requires and all that. But so the 50-50 conversation comes about because she and I were talking about the whole Club Shay Shay, Shannon Sharp, his discussion with Chad Ochocinco Owen. What? Chad? I don't remember his last name. Dude used to play for Cincinnati NFL. Changed his name to Ochocinco so he can wear number 88 or whatever. So anyway, so they're having a discussion about 50-50, and of course those guys are millionaires. They did right with their money, and they were breaking it down for an average guy, right, making $100,000, all this type of stuff. So she and I got on that conversation about what that takes, and just the whole thing came up about 50-50, and of course she's like, I would like a guy to do this, that, and the other. And then she starts with the how come guys can't do it, and I'm like, okay, well, if you had to pay for a guy, if he was a stay-at-home dad and you wanted him to, and you wanted him to stay at home, he wanted you to pay 100% of his bills, how would you feel about that? Of course, she got all tight. You don't want to answer that question, right? She don't want that. And I said, listen, you're not wrong about that, and I don't think that most women do want that type of man. You want a man who's going to be a protector and provider. Conversely, there's something that men want. So I'll save that for a little bit later in this conversation. So we got on the 50-50 conversation about 50-50. And so you have to understand the 50-50 thing comes about because of the environment, right? Things are so much more expensive, right? Particularly after the COVID. I remember when COVID hit, they were foregoing mortgage payments, foregoing you couldn't kick people out because they were, they fell behind in the rent, and people who were non-essential stopped going to work, and they had to give people $2,000. And if you look what other nations, let's talk about the U.S. and other nations, what they were giving people every month, it was ridiculous, right? So that's a whole nother conversation about our capitalistic society and who they value and all that kind of stuff. So we're having this conversation about 50-50. Everything's more expensive. So after the pandemic, they told us the card prices were going to drop. They haven't dropped. Rent prices and mortgage prices, price of a new home has only skyrocketed. Food has gone up, almost 50% or something like that, 30-40%, some astronomical number. And of course, our wages haven't increased commensurate with those particular prices. So this has all been very problematic, very something that we've all kind of taken notice of and all that. So guys are saying, listen, you're working full time, I'm working full time, and I want somebody who's going to be 50-50. to help me support the house. That's one reason for the 50-50 conversation. Another reason is because guys are sick of getting taken advantage of, right? I'm spending all this money, this time, this energy. What am I getting in return for my investment? What do you add to my life as far as being an asset and a liability, right? Are you a liability? I always got to take you out to eat, all this kind of stuff, right? Meanwhile, at the same time, you're working. So why should I have to always pay for every time we go out on a date, every time I take you to mini golf, every time we go to the movies, every time we do whatever? And this may be a conversation that millennials and Gen A, whatever's after that, Gen Z, Gen A, I get those mixed up. That, I'm a Gen Xer, so maybe this is just a completely different conversation that they're having, and they're not used to it. But the question has to become, where's biology meet psychology meet sociology, and how we are dealing with and interacting in the world. So, of course, when I ask her, she's in her 20s, I ask her, she's thinking the same way I do. Listen, I want a traditional guy. I want to be able to, and she could have been getting that from me, right? She wants a guy who's, when and if she gets pregnant, will be able to support her 100%. And she said, I don't have a problem going 50-50. I'll go 50-50. Okay, it's whatever. But, as a woman, another YouTuber says, Susan Banker says 50-50 is okay until the kids start coming. And I think that's partly true. 50-50 works until the kids start coming, because then somebody's got to take care of these kids. And do you want to put them in daycare? Do you want to put them in the public school system, giving the way that things are going? Do you want any of that type of stuff? So these are the conversations that are being had amongst these individuals. So those are just two of the reasons for it. The changing environment, the men don't want to be used and abused, and all that. So those are the two things, two of the biggest things. I think there was a third one that slipped in my mind concerning the 50-50 conversation. Now, the 50-50 conversation is that I'm going to pay for half, you pay for half. And listen, if you have a wife, if you have a girlfriend, a living girlfriend, and she is, you're both working 9 to 5s, and you both get home roughly at 5:30. I'm making this, very, very general. Obviously, people work different hours. Some work first shift, second shift, third shift, all that. You're missing each other and all that kind of stuff. Why are you as a man, and she said this, right? It's unfair that he expects me to take care of all the domestic chores. We're both working 9 to 5. I'm chipping in, and he just comes home and sits on the couch and plays his video game and doesn't interact with the kids and all this kind of stuff. And I've heard that, I've read that, and that's the complaint. So my pushback is, why are men doing that? If you're a man and your girl works, even if she works part-time, right? If it's 50-50, 70-30, 80-20, 60-40, 90-10, then you should be doing your fair share, whatever that would be. She 50-50, she cooks, you clean up after you cook. You cook, she cleans up. You rotate taking the trash out. You do whatever is going to work for you, but don't in that whole 50-50 conversation. If the conversation is the reason, now I think a lot of women don't want to do 50-50, number one, and number two, the reason that they don't want to do it because they want to be taken care of as princesses. We've seen enough videos like that, and the other reason is they don't want to do 50-50 because of the unfair treatment that they get as far as domestic chores. I've read that in a number of blogs and everything. So stop doing that, guys. To the men out there, do your fair share. I think your home would be much better, right? So when I was married, right? So we, laundry time, right? The laundry basket was big and heavy, right? So to take it from the bedroom down to downstairs was a little difficult for my wife. She was a short, petite woman. So she'd be like, oh, she'd come get me. And, I'm playing the video games, whatever, Can you bring the laundry downstairs? I'll go get the laundry and bring it downstairs. Then she would, do the washing and stuff. I'd take it out, put it in the thing, and carry it up so she could fold and put it away. I wasn't always the best at it, but, trying to make sure the kitchen was clean so she would cook and all that kind of stuff, right? So you got to put in an effort, man. You got to put in you men, you got to put it. If you're doing this, if you expect that, and you don't interact with the kids, you don't take them off her plate, right? If she's particularly if she's working, right? She's tired, right? Give her a Saturday off, man. Take her, get her Saturday, Sunday off. Get her a pedicure and all this, man. Take care of your woman. I don't, that I don't understand. I don't understand that aspect of the conversation as far as the work aspect. I understand that women want to be taken care of. Okay, what are you doing for me to take care of you? What are you doing? 100% or 50%. What are you doing to deserve this type of treatment? Number one, and the number two, why? And I certainly agree not to be taken advantage of. I am completely in that camp, right? Because I think that there's too much. Listen, I was in the dating world for a little bit now. I'm completely checked out because of that, right? And you think it's you. You think it's. I thought it was me, right? There's something wrong with me. Maybe my swag isn't there. I don't know how to talk. It's not you. It's not you, man. It's not. It's not you. It's not you. These women, and you read them. Not. I don't mean to sound pejorative, but if you read many articles in all this, right, this stuff is going on all across the country. There have been studies or surveys. 30% of women are just going on dates because they just want free food, and I'm totally convinced that a lot of times when ladies say, I don't want to go to Cheesecake Factory, I don't want to go to Olive Garden, I don't want to go to Applebee's, I don't want to go to any chain restaurant, or think of something outside the box. I don't want to go to the movies, I don't want to go to mini golf. It's because they're going on so many dates that they're sick of it. The last guy took me on mini golf. The last guy took me to the movies. The last guy took me. I want to do something different. You have to start taking them to the moon. I mean, you have to start booking trips to Saturn, so that's what I think. That's what I think. It's not you, right? So you can't take it personally. Their options are open, and they're just dating without intention, just dating to be dating for free food, and this is happening to a lot of guys where they're like, they're taking these women on dates, taking people on dates. I'm sure it goes both ways, but they're taking people on dates, and they're getting ghosted, they're not getting called back, and I've read stories about women who have slept with guys and all, they don't call them back, people are getting ghosted. It's really bad. It's really bad. It's If you're a married person or you're in a happy cohabitative relationship, man, stay there. I mean, because work on it, go to therapy, counseling, whatever, do what it takes to fix it, because it is a complete, utter mess out here. You imagine, just meeting somebody, and I made a video about the mistakes that I think it was the last video I made was about the mistakes that I made, and that's another mistake is, man, not understanding how much the environment has changed since I was 20 years ago, the dating environment, how much it has changed in the last 20 years, because it's and I had to get in line. I had to catch up. I had to catch up with that. I had to catch up with that, right? It has changed so much that these people are just going on dates just for free food. They ghost you. They don't mind not texting you back. It's a common trope to leave people on red. People have their phone all the time. You know it. People have their phone on all the time, and they don't text you back for 2-3 hours. Sometimes people may put it aside. Sometimes I leave my phone upstairs. I do it deliberately, but 2, 3, 4 hours without checking your phone, particularly if they had something going on. They got a job. They got a job. They have kids. They know you want to text them. It's a game. It's a game, and it's a game that I'm not willing to play anymore. It's a game you can't win. So it's not you. It's the environment, and it's being fueled by entitled people who have a multitude of options. And so my advice would be just to stop playing that game. I am no longer going to participate in this game, no longer. But that's me. But people want it. They want to be married. They want to. I just came from a walk, so it's staying too. They want to be married. They want to do whatever. And but you got to know how to navigate this new landscape. And it's really crazy. And when people all across the spectrum, all across the U.S. are talking about how they get ghosted, they're going on dates and don't get called back, and you got to figure out, yeah, I'm not gonna be paying for $100 dates, $100 meals, $200 meals, and I don't know who you are. There's a chance to get to know me now, and they don't want to do coffee dates. I'm worth more than a coffee date. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you somebody who's worth much more than that. That's me. That's me. That's you. That's me. I'm worth more than that. You have to date. Listen, I am to the place where you got to date me. You got to pay for my time. These women who have said, one lady tried to sue $10,000 for standing her up or something like that. You got to date me. You got to take me out. You got to take me out. Because I've done all that, and I'm not taking somebody out who's going to be ungrateful, who's going to ghost me the next day, I'm not doing all that. So this is why guys went to 50-50 on the dating scene. I'm not gonna. Why should I take you out? I might not ever see you again. Why should I do that? Why should I spend $200 on somebody I might not ever see again? Why should I do that? So this is why guys are demanding 50-50. You want to be part of the job market. You want to make money. You want to be a boss chick. You want to level up, get your degree. You want to advance. Cool. We have no problem with that. But with those accolades come responsibilities. With those benefits come responsibilities. And this is one of them. But that's for another time. So those are my thoughts, my opinion about 50-50. Understand why men have gone to it. Number one, the environment is cause for it. Number two, the ladies are making more money. And number three is that there has been, gosh, I keep forgetting number three, right? So they're making more money. The environment is called for it. They don't want to be ghosted. They don't want to be taken advantage of. And we're trying to get somewhere. And so that's the reason for it. And if you're a guy, and the women's main complaint is, I don't mind 50-50 as far as a conversation, as far as a starting point for going forward in a relationship, but I also demand 50% of the housework and chores to be done. Then men, step up, man. Step up. You wanted to make this relationship, you make it work. And right, and so there goes the other side of the conversation as well. Is it seems pretty silly to pay 100% of your bills. Why not just go 50-50? Okay, if I'm going to pay 100% of my bills, I still got to do 100% of the housework. That's where it comes in at. So I'm going to take 50% off your plate. You take 50%, as well as take 50, and you take 50% off my chores. So I'm doing less because I live by myself. I got to do all my chores. I got to do I do most of my chores. I hire a house lady or a housekeeper, but but otherwise I had to do 100% of them. I got to do 100% of them. So let's help each other out. Assets, liabilities, right? Don't be a liability. Be an asset to somebody else. Be an asset to somebody else in a relationship. So those are my thoughts about 50-50. Are you going 50-50? What are your thoughts about it? Are you helping out? If you're a guy, are you helping out? Why do you do 50-50? Why are you demanding it? 60-40, 80-10, 70-30, whatever the percentage is. Are you doing 20% of what is needed and essential around the household? I think if we solve that, we can solve a big problem, particularly amongst the younger generation. I am 50 years old. I'm looking for something completely different. So you got to date me. You're gonna have to date me, so you can because I am not. What is that saying? Once bitten, twice shy, or twice bitten, once shy, or whatever it is, right? So I'm not going through all that again. I'm not going through all that. Taking somebody on a date. I had a great time. It would be one thing if I just thought it was just me. Man, and I would do something to fix me. I need to fix my game, how I talk to women. I need to figure this out. I need to work on myself, get my swag, get new clothes, whatever. But when everybody's complaining about this, it ain't you, brothers. It ain't you. All right, let me know your thoughts and opinions. Much love and peace, everyone.